I meant to zip this up. There we go, much better. But yeah, hi everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope the day has been restful and or productive for y'all. Hey Cat Wizard. Slowly reading this. Pepper E. We're just doing Core Buster stuff today. I have to remind myself what specifically we are planning on doing because I forgot what I left off on. I remember last time we were probably messing around with cameras and stuff. Oh, that is a damn good concept art, Lamont. Okay. That's pretty good. Oh, Apple just got clowned on. That's even better. I'm gonna put a couple of these links over somewhere else to go look at these things later. Because, Corpo's eating shit is wonderful. But yeah. But yeah, hey Cat Wizard. Hey Cosmo, hey everybody. Good to see y'all. Let me see. Hey Stubby. So yeah, I have no idea what we're doing about Core Busters today because I forgot what I did the last time. Yeah, I know we have a little bit of light coming in through the sun still, but can't be helped. This is the time of year that I like anyway. Just because I've probably never really made it a secret, but like I like the summertime. Summertime is my season. I really enjoy it. That's just a me thing. Spring and the summertime are my favorite times in here. Fall is okay, and I really don't like winter. I'm sorry to the winter girlies. Truly, I am. But yeah, let me just sit down and run through Core Busters again so I can remember what we were doing last time. Also, hey Lynn, good to see you. Yeah, it's the cold. It's just the cold. The cold makes me want to like not do things, and I just I kind of just like curl up. I kind of just curl up and then go like I don't wanna. Okay, right. We had. Okay, right. Last time was like prompts and making sure that those were working correctly. Yeah, last time was prompts. Making sure the prompts work correctly. Oh, is it not showing the thing again? Ah, dang it. Fair, but the temperature goes above 80, I feel like I'm dying. Look, in my case, I entirely acknowledge that it's by virtue of the fact that, like, keep in mind that I grew up in South Florida for the most part, right? So for me, like, heat is just like, yeah, heat is sort of like coming home for me, basically. Obviously I have limits, but like most of the time, like, it getting a little bit hot doesn't really like bother me all that much. Pennsylvania map. Yep, that would explain it. Oh right, we were messing with line renderers last time. That's what it was. I was sitting here trying to remember what it was that we were doing last time. It was like we were trying to get trail rendering stuff to work, and I was like, I was just sitting here going like, what were we doing? Out of curiosity, what temperature do you usually keep your apartment at? I can't control it. I don't have a thermostat in here. When I have the option, it is between like 70 to 75 degrees, depending. Usually, I don't go below 70 usually, but I don't go above like 80 or anything. It's something between like 70 to 75. But here, I don't have an option. I don't have a thermostat here. I have heating, but the heat will kick on when it gets cold, and as far as I'm aware, I have no thermostat in here. I have no control over that. Keep it at 68 to 70, don't like it over 75. Yeah, like I'll do, like, for me, it's like between 70 and 75. Because like obviously like 68, for me, 68 is like cold. I don't need to put it above 75. There's usually no reason to. Figure out this line renderer thing. The only thing I don't understand is how this curve works. Thanks for doing it that way. Okay, so linear is what we want. So we want linear is what we want. I just need to figure out how to get Okay. So we want it to have a linear progression and then go up. That's fine. So now the real question. Okay, so those are the domains. What about the value? Okay. If I do this, then it gets slightly thicker, I think. If I do it, yeah, if I do it like that, turn on bidding for a second so we can think this through. Okay, let's see. Okay, interesting. Huh. I'm just looking over shaders occasionally just to sort of see if there's anything I want to try to grab and throw in, make things a little bit easier, or to make, or for certain like visual pop effects. Because basically the only thing, or not the only thing, one of the things that I should say that I don't have a very good grasp on, unfortunately, is like the way that shaders work. It's not something I'm particularly good at. Shader code is a whole other animal in terms of like getting in terms of getting certain things to work, and it can be very intimidating. You know what? I'm probably just gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that. The only thing I would like is to be able to actually get right. Okay. Let me see if I can find the line renderer thing. The only thing I think I'd like for the line renderer is to be able to actually get the gradient that is suggested. You can see if I got the right one or not. Because there's another one I could go and grab. Hush. Okay. Okay, let me try another one real quick, I think. First of all, let's take the node up out of here. And then we're going to get rid of this. Save that. So basically when you're getting rid of like old stuff in Godot, and this is also generally true of like any other game engine that lets you use like plugins and stuff, the thing that you want to do usually is get rid of any pardon me, get rid of any references to the plugin in the project itself. So anywhere where you put it on like a node or whatever, get rid of it there first and then delete it out of the rest of the project. It keeps things from it keeps the engine usually from getting really upset at you for like getting rid of something and then not properly backing it up and not properly like clearing the references out from other spots. It becomes Yeah, like game engines will get really pissy with you about that if you're not careful. So like usually, so that's why I made sure to make sure that I like actually deleted the actual trail render out of Koro's tree over here first. I did that first, and then after that, I did the other stuff. Okay, so let's just grab this one. Okay, so it might have been the same one actually, and I might have just gotten rid of that other one for nothing. But sometimes I can't tell these things. Um, so better that I just do it like this. So no projects. Let's see. Yeah, no, this is a different one because the one I had before was a the one I had before was a C# implementation. This is a Godot script implementation. Hi, I've been listening. I am Pro Summer here. Give me the heat. I don't care. Yeah, like for me, mostly it is largely just that like when winter shows up, it becomes a lot. I just don't have the energy to go places. Um, and that's usually why I'm like I prefer the spring and the summer because at least it's warm enough that I have the motivation to get up and go places. Um, winter just makes me sleepy and I don't have a good time. Um, this node was saved as type immediately geometry, which was no longer available. Okay, that's not good. Immediate mesh. Okay, I think I can fix that. Extends. Okay. Is that still? Yeah, it's still botched up. Hang on. Unexpected identifier. Hang on. Unexpected identifier. Export in class body. Um. Oh. Okay. Got it. Um. So it said 4.4.0, and that was factually incorrect. Um, long story short, this this thing said it was set up for Godot 4, which is not entirely correct. Um, okay, no, this is actually hella botched, so we're not using that actually. Get up out of here. You're not helping me. Okay, let's go to the asset library and go look up a line renderer again. Line. Or let's do trail. Okay, so a C# script that does that. Custom 2D. Okay, let's try this one. This trail mesh one. So if I grab this one, okay, no files conflict. Okay, that doesn't look like it exploded miserably. So let's see here. Um, does not yet work in editor. Visibility is a bit buggy. Okay, then. Oh God. Anyway, well, we'll try it. It says it doesn't work in the editor yet, but either that's true or it's not. So there's only one way to find out. Geometry node path. Okay, geometry node path is this one. Material. New gradient. All right, let's try this one. I know y'all can't see me adjust. You can see the colors adjusting in real time over there, but like I know y'all can't see the colors adjusting otherwise. I cannot control that. Okay, so that's density, that's the albedo, that's the emission. Okay. Um, curve. We'll just do a linear one again. See how that works out. All right. And then I'm probably gonna get up in a minute because Chipotle is supposed to be on the way. Uh, all right. I said in my go live that it was time to talk about. So I can't. There's certain things I still can't talk about as far as. Okay, it kind of works, sorta. Kind of works. Right. So that's the thing I was saying. There's certain things I can't talk about for the purposes of like things that are happening TM. But I got very good news over the course of the last couple of days. Um, Very many things kind of like coming together. The only thing that hasn't yet so far is job stuff, basically. But everything else, a lot of other things have been coming together in a relatively Yeah, this is not helping either, actually. Things have been coming together in a relatively pretty cool fashion. That's the food. I can hear it. One sec. Grateful that they're not. That sometimes I've been getting delivery where they'll deliver the food, and either because I'm not, odds are high that it's I'm not paying attention, but there have been times people have knocked, and then I don't hear the knock, or they don't knock at all, and the food just sits out there for like 5-10 minutes. It gets a little cold. I don't like that. So some of it could be that I'm just legitimately not hearing it when people do come by and do that thing. That could be it. Or it could just be that, like, quite literally, they don't knock, and it's like, well, okay, guess I'm stuck here then. Well, anyway, give me 1 second. This trail mesh is getting upset when I try to get rid of it, which means I probably have to hang on. Yeah, okay, hold up a second. I gotta go yank it out from the back. I have to go yank it out from the back end. So I'm gonna just close that window for a second. We're gonna go in here, and we're just going to just explode it, tell it to piss off, and then when we open back up, um, Godot, it should be gone. Yeah, that's why I made sure to delete. Pardon me. That's why I made sure to delete the. That's why I made sure to delete the. Delete the actual node out of Koro's tree before closing it. It was specifically to avoid certain issues in that sense. Yeah, the only thing that I don't like about Phantom camera and shaking is that I need to get it to like get a nice jitter where it goes a little more all over the place. It's the only thing I see. That's the only thing with this noise emitter that I don't really like. And I can't put the multiplier. Oh, okay. They didn't actually limit me. That's just where the sliders stopped. Okay. I'd assumed that the sliders were deliberately limited to as far as they went, but apparently that's not the case. Yep. Okay, cool. So now I know I can break the limit. Okay. Decay time. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I like that better. 25, 8, 4. 25, 8, 4. Okay. This should be. There we go. Yeah, that should do for now. That said, though, I do want to adjust where some of this stuff is. Entities, dialog triggers. Yeah, I want to move that somewhere over here, I think. Let's see if I can get. Is there a way to get the? Is there a way to get the widget to be in world space and not? Nah, that's not the one that we want. So basically, I'm trying to see if there's a way to get it so that like this widget here, where we control where and how this thing is placed, I would much prefer it if I could get it. Um, Let me just look that up real quick. Godot 3D world. Okay, there it is. I was like, I know that there has to be a. There we go. So yeah, there are times where you want to use. So the difference between world versus local. We can talk about that for a second, right? The idea behind the world transform of a specific thing is that with the world transform, right? The idea is that the world transform or rather, when you're looking at something in a transform mode of world, it ignores whatever rotation stuff you have going on and things like that. It ignores the rotation and ignores a bunch of other stuff in order to fit a specific size, right? And so this makes it so in this context, oh shit. Hold on. I gotta do a thing real quick. Make that one unique and then make this one unique. If I don't do either of those, it's gonna be really upsetting. All right, that should fix that. So yeah. So when we do world, right, then it basically ignores all of the rotation and other stuff of the actual object, right? And there are times where that's useful, like in situations where really all we want to do is be able to like just move a thing reliably and controllably. Sometimes we just want the world instead of the local, so we can just do stuff like this, right? Get it roughly lined up in a nice good spot like that, and then we're good to go, right? Like sometimes that's the way that we want it. Like we just want a thing where we're like, okay, do this, right? And so yeah, sometimes it's useful to be able to just control a thing in world based on like the world location and things like that, so that you don't run into situations where you can't quite grab and grapple a thing the way that you want to. It happens more often than you would think. But then there are times where you would rather just follow the local rotation because it makes sense for certain other things. It's one of those situations where depending on what you want and how you want to make it work, either is acceptable, you know? Okay, so Spy Cloud works correctly. That's good. So now we just need to move this one back over here a little bit. Cool. I want to come back over to the checkpoint real quick and make sure that this collision shape, we want to make sure this collision shape reaches up nice and high so we can't miss it. Make sure that that reaches nice forward, nice and far too. All right. Okay, skip something. One of the dialogue triggers. I messed up and I put one in the wrong spot. Okay, so yep, I put that one way too far ahead. That's my fault. That one, this one should be over here. This one should be over here because we want it to show up a bit before we run into the spy clouds, and then we're good to go on that front. That's the spy clouds. We want like a traversal. We want a traversal thing. Let's see here. We could put another tutorial in between these two. So now I just need to go to scenes. Okay. This one, tutorial prompt. Move skill. Start with this one. So now over here, we're just going to do if I remember correctly, so action prompt. For this one, we want skill. And then here, we're going to say, over here in the text label, dash, air, okay. I can do this if I do it like this. And then, yep. And then all I have to do is stretch this down a little bit. The margin container. There we go. That's better. Okay. Do it like this. Yeah, there we go. That one's better. And I can do this. And I can come here and I can say jump. And then this now can become okay. Very nice. Okay, cool. Now we can just do this. nice. So okay, very good. Okay, this is starting to make sense. Okay. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. I like this. Um, if I wanted to now, I can switch this out for a comma, or even just say, right? And all I have to do is adjust this just a little. Yep, then we can get that, and we're good to go. Hey, Val. Yeah, and you're probably not gonna get caught by. You're probably not gonna get caught by ads, which is good. Start booster prompt over here. Prompt. This one. And then all I have to do is just make sure I put this in the right spot, and then this should be okay. This should be okay after that. So we just gotta make sure I line these better. This one, dash, hack. Here we want to switch this one. Hack. Just gotta margin here. No, wrong one. Put a prompt background, grab it, out. There we go. And then if this is getting upset, all I should need to do is just, I gotta shrink down. Yeah, like this one. But more specifically, I gotta LB and A dash down. This one doesn't need to be as wide as it is. Chill out a little bit. Yeah, I need you to like. Thank you. That one's 400. And then dash attack should also be 400, right? Minimum size should be 400. They got it. Yeah, there you go. And then this one, nope. One. Oracle. Get you back out. This one and down like this. Right. Yeah, there you go. Like you can cool a little bit. You don't have to do all that. You can take this one, pull it in just a little bit, and we're good. So that's Koro's out of the way. This is Voke's out of the way. Like Voke should be good now. Upper prompt. Cancel prompt. Course, hover attack prompt. Attack over here. This one in the middle. This one over here. Now we can just say that. Now we can come up here and we just gotta, yeah, you can like chill out. You don't have to be that long. Yeah, you can just chill out a little bit. You don't have to be that long. Like, good, you're good. You don't have to be that long. You don't have to be that long. You can chill out a little bit. Grab this thing down some, or to pull this in some without it getting too upset. There we go. All right. Now we just need to fix the spy cloud a little bit because right now like the curve. I think the curve for this is all kinds of messed up in ways I don't like. Why can I not edit that? That's annoying. All right. Grab you. Okay. We're just gonna make a little mini wall here so that this doesn't look nearly so difficult to grab a hold of. You're now ground. You're ground. You're all one. the only thing I need to make sure is here. There are these little menus that you can't see that I'm clicking for the ground shapes that I'm messing with called Make Unique, because it turns out that in certain circumstances, and this is not a super bad thing, this is just sort of the way Godot works. It turns out in certain circumstances that I need this to populate too, right? Well, let me make sure that I move this into position first. One. That's almost about right. I gotta be careful because there's a pretty good chance that I'm accidentally moving around the mesh when I really don't want to be doing that. I want to be moving this actual shape. Okay. Let me make sure the mesh instance is also right. So 62 1. Box shape 62 1. I want to make sure that those two things are set correctly. And then I need to make sure that I didn't accidentally fuck up and move this. Yep, I've been fucking around and moving the wrong one. Okay. Block the collision shape and the mesh instance just so I don't move them by accident. Grab the wall. Alright. Okay. Now for collision shape. Mesh instance. Let's just take the mesh instance and get it. Yeah. The right size. I think that's what, another 10, I think. It should be about 10. Mesh instance. And 10 is almost right, but I'm not looking for this to be perfect. There's probably a more precise measurement than this, but I'm not looking for it to be perfect. I just wanted to get the point across. The general rule of thumb that I follow for this is like just a more general design philosophy thing that I have, which is why I'm grateful that I have the team that I do, especially as far as like community stuff goes. A lot of what I tend to focus on when it comes down to like just getting a game up and running, aesthetics are usually like the last thing on my mind in certain circumstances, which is why for me especially, this is just one of the things I can improve on as a game designer. Actually knowing when and how much spit shine to put on like aesthetics, that is something I have a hard time with. Because a lot of my attention usually goes on towards like making sure the thing works. and I don't worry so much about the aesthetics. Um, so a lot of like the games that, a lot of like the prototypes and games I work on, programmer art tends to be sort of like the milieu of what it looks like a lot of the time, because I'm more worried about like making sure that it functions correctly before I start stressing out about before I start stressing out about um, before I start stressing out about whether or not it looks good. Because from a more general perspective, mostly making something look good is a matter of uh, time, but it's easier to make something that looks good in the way that you would like it to look good when you have spent enough time shaping the stuff around it first. That's been my general experience, right? Like if you have an ugly looking character select versus a beautiful character select that doesn't function, right? You have an ugly looking character select, but it does the things it's supposed to do, versus a beautiful looking character select that doesn't function at all. In card turn mechanic I detail it. Yeah, pretty much. I tend to focus a lot on like the practical nuts and bolts of whether or not anything works. And then I tend to worry about like the actual beautifying of that thing a lot later, basically. I tend to worry, yeah, that's basically sort of like the general way that I approach certain things. Because for me in particular, I sort of live on the principle that, like, at the end of the day, right, that's the thing I was saying. You can make something pretty, it's very easy to make something, well, easy in relative terms. It is easier to make something pretty um, well after you have already, like, gotten a version of it that works. If you spend too much time on something pretty over something that works, then when the rubber hits the road, you have a harder time. Oh, we're just doing car metaphors today, I guess. Basically, in so many words, what I'm trying to say is that for me in particular, making sure that the thing actually works and does the thing it's supposed to do is ultimately more important to me than how pretty it is. Because if it's pretty but it doesn't do the thing it's supposed to do, then you what do you have, right? And it doesn't mean that there's no place for like aesthetic polish of a thing. I am not saying that by like any means, right? Um, Mostly what I'm getting at is that the aesthetic polish of something, it's all well and good to want that and to put your mind on that, but if you can't prove that the thing works first, then um, you have a lot more trouble in that regard. Uh, the times when I fail to follow this principle are usually when I get bit in the ass the hardest. Um, like the times when I personally fail to follow this principle are usually when I get bit in the ass the hardest, which is why I have been very, very diligent about it to a certain extent. Because, like, right, if I don't, like, if I'm not the one looking out for me and the things I need to do in this circumstance, like, we're gonna just call this one area one. And for this one, I gotta make sure that I lock these two real quick so that I can't move them accidentally. We're gonna have to make unique instances out of both the shape and the mesh so that we don't wind up altering the other stuff. Now, mesh instance. Honestly, I want the mesh to be first and then the collision shape because then that makes it easier. Because we can shape the mesh first and then worry about the other stuff. So this is like what? Yeah, give that nice sense of thickness. Then we're going to want to duplicate this one. Her over here. So we want these walls somewhat close together. We would like these walls somewhat close together. And the reason for that is relatively straightforward because Koro needs to be able to navigate them by jumping up them. We want mesh instance here. Collision shape here. Make sure that we lock both of these so that I can't like fuck up and move them into spots where I don't want them. Static body, we're going to move it here, move it here. Mesh instance, let's get us a box mesh. Make unique. And how wide? This is like 60, right? So 60 here. Nah, 4 is too thick. 2 should do well enough. And then for Z, we want like, no, 40 is too big. Yeah, 20 should do here. And then we want to make sure that when we come up with the collision shape, any box shape, we right click it, hit make unique. I know y'all can't see it, sorry. And we just have to make sure that the size matches the size. So 60 to 20. So 60 to 20. Now those are both the same size. We grab the static body and we just drop it into position like here. And if we want to, we can be a little cheeky and sink it a little bit into the wall. Because the idea here is that Koro should be able to wall jump her way up into this. So we could, even if we felt like it, I can take this and just move it a little more like this. Because we want it to have enough, we want her to have enough space to be able to like go up and over. For Koro, for Vogue, we want her to be able to float, right? For Vogue, we want her to be able to float, and for Funk, we want him to be able to like actually boost and land somewhere. And so this is the part about our core busters that was simultaneously like the hardest part to design around, but also the part that I found the most challenging for me personally. Right? Because Funk, Koro, and Vogue each have different ways of navigating the environment, this is one of those things where you have to start thinking about how it is that you would design the level to make sure that each of them have a way of getting through. So, for instance, in Koro's case, right, really she doesn't need this platform. Because if it's Koro, you can literally just jump straight up. I'll demonstrate. I'll play this through to this point real quick. I'll demonstrate what I mean. Because Koro basically sections that are made for her, she doesn't really have to worry about them any at all, right? Because, well, let me phrase it like this, right? As long as Koro has a vertical wall, right? He doesn't need horizontal platforms. She can skip, unless it's specifically spaced out in such a way that, like, yeah, like if it's her, it's very easy for her to just go like this, right? And then done deal. I need to adjust the, I gotta adjust a couple of things about that one in order for this to work, right? So we want to put this down here. And then we probably want to make this less wide than I actually did. Because this right wall over here is how big? Let's take a look. It's 30 across. And then I made this one 60. So this needs to be 30. And that should stop that from looking so weird. And then this should also be 30. And the static body itself, I need to make sure that I have the collision set correctly. That's a wall, which means that the collision here is ground. And of course the player should be able to like do that. So let's try this again. Yeah, so like for Koro, right? If she has for Koro, if she has a straight set of vertical walls, you can just bounce, easy clap, right? For Funk and for Koro, sorry, for Funk and for Vogue, it's not that simple. And it becomes a question of, so for example, if I switch over to Funk, right? just the right height that you can't jump, right? So here we use a booster, get up and over. Another booster, get up and over, right? So we have to make it just high enough that like he can't booster over in one shot necessarily, but that means that we can put this platform, we can take this platform that I have jutting out right here and put it a couple of spots higher, because now we know for a fact, oh yeah, like that booster will take him super high. So we can just grab these two, shift them up a bit. Okay, then we're gonna just do this one, do skill. Let's take this one now, right? Well, we're gonna put Koros like here. Yep. We're gonna switch this one to Koro, and then we're just gonna do this one. Quick load. Yeah, this is the only thing. So I have to come up here. Where is it? There's an option when I right click these, it says make local. And what that does with make local is that it turns, it lets me edit certain attributes of things I couldn't edit before, usually anyway. But sometimes it doesn't, because it just doesn't. Sometimes it just gets picky and it doesn't let me do that, which is kind of a pain. Okay, collision shape 3D. Let me do that here. Okay. Okay, there we go. A new box shape. That's why. So I make it local, then I have to do a new box shape, and then it's usually good. So let's see here. Right. Make sure we lock this one so I can't move it. And then we just actually physically move this. Meanwhile, though, Funk invokes, we're going to put over. We're going to put Funk invokes, on the other hand, over here. Because here's where it becomes relevant for them. And And then for what will happen is that for Koro, we'll put her wall jump tutorial also over here. But again, we're going to be relying on these character type ones to determine who sees which one. So Koro gets hers over here because it's not relevant to getting over the wall, whereas Funk and Vokes are, so theirs are closer to the wall. And then I just need to make sure that I switch these packed scenes to match. So we have Vokes highlighted right now, so move skill Voke. And then for Funk, we want to do the same thing. We'll make sure that we get Funks. And then we should be good to go as far as that's concerned. Oh, I should make that wider because that wall looks funny because it's not wide enough. So we're going to come over to area 1, right wall. Yeah, you, going to make you unique just in case I need to because you need to be wider. There we go. That's why those look funny because they're not wide enough. Now this one. Now we can put this also there. Now that's the right width. Okay, much better. Much better. Okay. Okay. Huh. It's supposed to be here and it's not showing up, which means that I messed up something else. Okay, it shouldn't be a one shot. That's the other thing. That's the other thing. It should be an auto trigger, but it should not be a one shot. So let me see here. Terrain, nope. Entities. Yeah, it should be an auto trigger, but it shouldn't be a one shot. That's the problem. So y'all are not one shots, but you should be auto triggers. Okay. And then I guess just to be safe, I probably should actually make their collision shape areas actually a little bit wider on the X. So we'll just do 60 just to make sure they're nice and wide. Make sure that nothing is going wacky there. sure collision's correct. Volume. Yeah. For these, the collision. Well, I know technically I'm filtering it by using the target group for the trigger volume, but let's see. Okay, in my neck. There we go. Alright, night, Stubby. Okay, that works better now. But the issue that I'm now running into is that I probably didn't. I have to slightly adjust the way that this thing works, because that is doing a funny. So I'm going to come over here. Let's look at the HUD real quick. Tutorial text canvas layer, prompt container. Which way are these being aligned? Yeah, okay, that's a problem. They shouldn't be doing. Let's try something a little different there. Where is it? Tutorial text canvas layer prompt container. Okay, you, my friend, you want that anchor over there, but I'm going to require you to fit the thing. Hang on, let me try something here. Slip one in real quick just to see how it turns out. Slip in right here. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. You can't do that whole thing, but like that's too much. If you take up that whole part, that's no good. Which means my other option is to make sure that the tutorial prompts. This is where we get a little tricky, right? Because the main thing is that if you look at this one, it aligns over here. So if I switch this and the anchor preset is over here, I think that's probably the better way to do it. I think I have to do it so that the anchor presets are over in the top right corner instead of the top left, so that way it aligns better. Because before I think this should work better. basically what I'm doing here is making sure that like the individual bubbles themselves actually line up with the corner that they're supposed to. If I don't do it like this, shit gets weird. So I'm gonna try doing it by aligning them to the right. No, not with that one though. This one needs to be full, but the actual roots need to be aligned over there. Move. I want you to be over here. Scale. We want this one. We want to do top right instead. And I should have been thinking about it that way to begin with. No, not you. Tutorial prompt BG. Okay, so yeah, you need to be over here. Is the main point though. And however big this is not that important. Okay, there we go. Yeah, both of those are gonna have to. All right, so I have to go back and go do the other ones too. Both of you need to be over here. I don't know if that got both of them. Yeah, so you see now where we're running into the issue because this one is over here and then this one's aligned over here. So if we do both of them like this, it should fix that issue. Right? Because if I do watch peep game, I do this one over in the top right. Cool, that's handled. I want to make sure that this one is also in the top right. So now you see it'll bring it all the way over and make sure that I don't overshoot, which means I need to go back through and check all of these other ones to make sure that they're also okay. So the move skill, good. Those are all handled. This one though, okay, yeah, this one did a full, okay, I see. Okay, past me, good call. By making that one expand to fit the whole thing and just aligning that one to one direction. Okay, past me. You get points there. That was clever. Thank you, past me, for making my life easier in that sense. I'm not going to fist fight you for once, which means I need to go back and like apply this to the other ones too. Otherwise, that's not going to stay consistent, and that will annoy the living shit out of me. So this one should be fit, on the other hand, to do this, and then I have to take this and size it to fit correctly. And now we're good. Because then this one can just stay wide like that, and that's fine. I can't imagine you fist fighting anyone affectionate. Yeah. We can be real. It's true. I'm probably too much of a softie to actually do that. You're right. This is true. Like past me is maybe about as close as I could get, and even then, sometimes I just tell myself he was doing his best, and I can't be that upset. Uh, he's just a guy in a pair of New Balances, and he's doing his best, and I guess I can't be that upset about it. God damn it. I forgot to fix that. Okay. I forgot to fix that part. So it's gonna do this because I forgot to go back over to the HUD. And in the HUD, the prompt container I need to do like this. So basically speaking, so this is the thing about like Godot's UI system when you're like programming a UI for using Godot. At first, it seems really weird and kind of backwardish, but as you get used to it, it becomes easier to actively control how you want it to work. The simplest way that I was told about how to think about it back when the easiest way that I was taught to think about it back when co-host was still a thing is basically that insofar as programming a UI in Godot is concerned, you want to make sure that you use the control node, like a plain old control node, to control the size of the thing that you want, and then you make the thing inside of the control node expand to fit out the control node. And that's basically how you control all that other stuff. Okay, so it looks like the only thing that I really need to adjust here is look at Funk's move skill. Okay. So for whatever reason, so let me go to the remote, let me go look over here. This pump container is acting weird. So let's go back over the game. Okay. I thought, and I made the assumption that by doing that, okay, if I do full rect, it does that, right? If I do top left, it does this. If I do top right, okay, so then the real question is, why is this acting up now? Okay, so we'll just do 800, 250 as the minimum for this one. Let's just do it that way. We're just going to do 800, 250 to make my life easier. And then we just got to get back over there. Then this will be the last time I run it before I dip out, because it is about that time for me to go do other stuff. Yeah, there we go. Okay, good. Very good. Grab this other one. So, where is it? Terrain. So mesh instance. Let's just get this one higher up. Yeah, that'll do. Right there. We want to make sure that it is just high enough that people can't just like immediately their way around it. Make sure that we pull it like out. And area 2 can go over there. Area 2 can then start. You can start area 2. Area 2. Up. Okay. Because yeah, both should be able to go 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Pop. Okay. And the only thing we have to do is just make sure that this wall actually extends all the way up as far as that goes. Box shape 50. All right, cool. So yeah, now we have a nice little vertical. We have a nice little vertical section here where you get taught how to use your movement abilities. Good. Good. Okay. So there's only one last thing I'm going to do real quick. And that is that I'm going to slightly adjust some stuff. Okay, good. I'm just going to slightly adjust some things as far as this is concerned. All right. Let's see if I regret that being the scale up. If that's the scale up and that's too big, then oops. Yeah, that's better. I have to make sure that the hopper is actually like physically of a size that matches that scale up, but that hitbox is a lot better. Yep. And then hop here, and then you're good to go. Yeah. And if Funk can reach up here easily, Vogue can probably float 1, 2, and then over. And then Vogue and then Koro should be able to just like do wall jumps and get over without too much issue. So I'll test for her later, but this is good. We can call it, I think. Alright, y'all. So, appreciate y'all. It's about time for me to go run about and go do other things that I need to go do. So, thank y'all for stopping by, for hanging out, for listening to me like ramble on as I do these things. So, the main thing that I want to talk about, or that I can talk about for May, is that it is Mental Health Awareness Month in May, and to that end, I have been invited to do charity fundraising streaming with the organization To Write Love on Farms. They do a lot of support for people who are like doing mental health resources, who need mental health resources and things like that. So the main thing is that for starting like basically on Friday, I need like an extra day or two to like just finish up putting together incentives and things like that. With Friday's stream, we will start officially doing the charity fundraising for To Write Love on Her Arms. To do that support, as an organization, they try to do like community outreach and mental health support for people who need it. And so we're going to be just doing that all month. I just need a little while to sort of make sure I can get incentives sorted out. I'm out of googly eyes, for example, so I got to think of, well, I have a couple already because my mods are great, and they come up with good ideas. So we'll have a couple of incentives. I need to think of a couple more. Milestones for us, because I've got one for. I've got a milestone for like the $1,000 mark if we manage to make it there. That's a big if though. And so I just need to kind of come up with the smaller ones first, and then make sure that I have good breakpoints for incentives for when people donate and things like that. So, deeply appreciate y'all. Thank you for hanging out. Friday is when we're going to start doing that stuff. So kindly tune in. It'll last for the whole month. But we'll be starting that on actually Friday. So thank y'all, deeply appreciate it. I don't know, maybe it'll be more Street Fighter for Fighting Friday, because I know we did Chaos Code last time. And I don't think I have anything. I'm not sure if I can dig up any other obscure things that I really want to run. So we'll see how that goes. I've decided Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be doing on Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be starting a new JRPG. I think we really might just call it JRPG Sundays at this point, because we're going to be doing Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition for Steam. Mostly because, one, it'll actually motivate me to finish that goddamn game. Yeah, it'll motivate me to finish that game. And two, it's been at least a little bit of a while since we've done a Tales game on stream, so I feel not obligated. Obligated is not the right word, but I feel like it is the appropriate time to go ahead and do that. So, thank you, Sin, for the links. If you want to follow me for game analysis and design takes, you can go follow my blog as an RSS feed. I don't write there very frequently because it takes a little time for me to think about topics, and honestly, I've been super busy. I've been super busy. So I haven't been able to actually sit down and write stuff. Stream VODs are up on my YouTube. Ko-Fi, if you want to support me in the stream but don't want to give money to Amazon and Jeff Bezos, Ko-Fi is better for that. I usually prefer Ko-Fi over a Twitch sub, because Ko-Fi, I get because I get that money faster and I keep more of it, right? But it's your call, because I know that people want to avoid ads. Throne, if you want to do anonymous gift giving, then Throne is the way to do that. If you want to provide stuff for the stream or for the apartment or for my office, quote unquote, your call. Office being this corner of the apartment. And my card has all my other social media links. I'm mostly active on Sky. If you want to know more about Munity, which is the indie game studio that I helped co-found, you can join us at Munity. You can go over to Munity.games. You can join our Patreon for either free or paid. And then if you want to play a demo of Shoot Lancer, it is a recent-ish version. There are changes that are more in line with the arcade experience for Shoot Lancer that will not translate well into a new demo. So the demo that you have right now is the post-GDC one before we really start leaning into more arcade stuff. But it's still a pretty good idea, roughly, of what to expect, more or less. We'll see if there's one more. We'll see if there's one more that we do, but I cannot promise that necessarily. We got to talk about. We got to talk. When I say we, I mean that me and the team have to talk about that internally and see if we decide to do that. Last but not least, so if there's anybody who's looking at the changes at Discord and going man, I don't know about that, specifically that they're getting a new CEO and that they are apparently being much more intentional about saying, no, actually, we're going in on the whole, you want to get an IPO thing. If that's not your jam and you don't mind making a Roblox account that you never have to use for anything ever, you can join us over on Guilded. That nice little link there with the guilded.gg in it will take you to an application link. Read the rules, fill out the application, and once the apply goes, you're good. But if you don't want to do that, if you're I'm done joining Discords or Guildeds or whatever, fuck that. I get it. You don't have to do that. Just on the table in case you want to join the community. Never a requirement, just an option. All right. I feel like this is the time that we go bother. I don't remember who we went to go visit on the. Who did we go to visit on the 27th? I don't remember. I do not remember. I wish I did, but I don't. We're gonna go bother Pleasantly Twisted today, though. We're gonna go bother Pleasantly Twisted today. Either they are currently still in the middle of Onimusha 2, doing like a quick little teaser run of that. They got a key for that, or they are going to be doing more Nine Souls. It's one of those two. Don't know how far they're in yet. When we go over to Twisted, please give them this raid message. It's SJH does raids. Throw in your favorite emotes. They don't have to be my emotes. Whatever emotes you want. Just make sure they're appropriate. No lulls or no lull or anything like that, because that guy was a jerk. Anyway, stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask if you go outside. Be excellent to each other, but not the bigots, racist, turfs, sexist, anti-queer folks, or fascists. Black Lives Matter. Trans rights are human rights. Reproductive rights are human rights. Palestine, Sudan, the Congo, New Caledonia must all be free. None of us are free till we're all free. Look out for each other. Do your best to take care of yourselves. And if looking out for each other and taking care of yourself is just about like, I did one thing here locally, and that's about it. Yee. Do what you can. Alright, y'all. Appreciate y'all deeply. I'll see you either Friday or Sunday. Both days will be to write Love on Our Arm stuff. Woo! Do enjoy. Alright, y'all. Deeply appreciate y'all. I'll catch y'all on the flip side later. And then, of course, I immediately forgot how to set my own thing.